Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios and brought to you, as always, by the Beer for Here. This is the Agenda Podcast for the 24th of February.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
And a very good morning to Matt Heath, born in the South, cheese roll.
Yeah, born in the South, cheese roll in my mouth. I'm never going to forget you. Oh, well, you know... That was just an absolute example of the southern grit. The southern grit that we don't have in the rest of the country. 13 men on the field and just brought it home. Tava Nawa. He's got the strongest legs in the world.
Was he born in the South, the cheese roll?
Yeah, he was, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Fiji, but it's kind of in this general area.
That's funny because last week, I think it was last Thursday actually, you said that the beloved Highlanders were going to win, and then under your breath you said this for the rest of the country.
Blues.
and right now, I'm just trying to paint a picture for you on this podcast. You have approximately, I think I've got counted 7 layers of different Highlanders merchandise. Let's start with the headwear.
Yep.
You've got a beanie and a hat on, but you've also bought a Dunedin Sharks fins up beanie, which you haven't got enough room for, so you put it on a ball.
Yep.
You've got a old school jersey. You've got a
90s rugby,
hoodie,
Tiger rugby,
and then you've got another over the shoulder. So that's for me. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 items of. I mean, you're obviously
Landers support,
born and bred, obviously.
Yeah, I've never doubted them.
Yeah,
I've stuck with them through the hard times, and when you do stick with them, you don't turn on them. You don't start, taking the baubles of corporate boxes and Auckland and. Living up here, there's opportunities to go for a sort of potentially more glamorous for the more shallow people to start following different teams. But, I've always just stuck steadfastly with my hometown team, and that's why I can celebrate with about 12 layers of Highlanders merch.
You're like Peter Parker. You're living these 2 lives. You're living these 2 lives with Matt Heath of Auckland in the corporate box, enjoying the spoils of corporate Blues supporting, and then
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Elite.
Yeah, that's right. And now you just got so much Highlanders merchandise. I mean, you must have a whole cupboard full of it, and then you've got another cupboard full of Blues stuff. How do you choose?
Well, this was a big moment because my dad, he's been to the rugby, with his mates, all kinds of rugby in Dunedin.
Professor Heath,
Professor Heath.
I've heard his thoughts on Super Rugby and rugby in general.
And his mate Bruce, they went and watched every game for many, many, many years. And this is what my dad texted me at the end of the game. Goodness, what a game and what a win. If Bruce was still alive, he would have been beside himself with delight. Can't believe he missed this one by a week.
Oh, no. Bruce missed it by a week.
Bruce tragically passed away a week ago. This would have been great for Bruce.
Oh, no. Do you know what? I think it was Bruce. I reckon he, the succubus, he got into that Blues changing room and he did something. He did something to Beauden Barrett because he had a shocker. He didn't play well at all.
He got that try at one point, and then it was he was sort of, there was some poor strategic kicking.
There was also,
especially the wheels on the Highlanders. You don't want to kick it back to you don't want it anywhere near
Ben Hurley. Yeah, Ben Hurley. Geez, lost some weight as well. Ben Hurley.
Tiny.
He's shaved. He's kind of tight beard. Certainly quicker than I last saw him.
He's been, shredding so hard. He's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, and height.
A beard.
And height. And height.
Pace.
There was an unusual decision. So we might as well cover off Super Rugby right at the top. There was some unusual decisions. I think it was only a 4-point ball game when the Blues turned down a kick right in front of the post to kick to the corner. And to me, it was like, just make this game tighter than it should be.
Yeah.
And then they kicked it to the corner. They cocked up the line out, and they never got back into the game. It's kind of,
I can't remember who it was that booted the ball so far down the field at that point.
Yeah, it seemed odd. I don't know.
Can you explain to me? So
Vern Cotter's going to be spewing.
So Leonard Brown gets booted, right?
Yes, carded.
Carded for a no.
That was pretty.
Yeah, pretty. But we're not playing pussy winks here.
Nah, pussy winks. How do you play pussy winks?
So to say, we're not playing tiddly pussy here.
I played tiddly pussy. I know what that is.
Anyway, it is a funny thing. My dad sent me a diatribe on that. He goes, "Is that the only time that happened in the field during that entire game?"
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
That's true. It happened during the Chiefs game as well. There were some other heat clashes that didn't get picked up.
But anyway, so then we're down to 14, right? And then we have to play then the scrum got so confusing. Nick Berry, the ref, was trying to explain it. What the hell went on with that scrum? And then the Highlanders had to be down to 13.
Yeah, well, no, because they didn't go down to 13, but so they couldn't put a scrum down because and they couldn't push in the scrum because the Highlanders simply had no more front rowers. I think one of the other front rowers went off.
Yeah, so they went to Golden Oldie scrums.
So Golden Oldie scrums.
But then they kicked someone else off the field.
Yeah, because they have to bring in 8 for the scrum.
Yeah.
Which means they had to take a back off. So they still had to have 8 in the scrum, which was weird because they're not even pushing.
Yeah.
So a back had to go off. So I don't think they were ever down to 13. 14,
right. I thought they were down to 13 through some kind of technicality.
No. They just had to. It's just a stupid rule that you always have to have 8 in the scrum.
Right.
So that's why
Nick Berry, I felt sorry for him. He was standing there trying to work it out.
Oh,
it was so complicated.
That's why Tava Nawai, he played number 8. I was like, get that man in the loose forwards because the amount of turnovers. Tava Nawai affected was next level.
He's got tree trunks for legs. That can move very fast.
That low centre of gravity, he must be such a pain in the ass when it comes to the ruck because he just gets over the ball. Yeah. And there was a couple of times he got penalised, which were dubious because I thought, I don't think he had his hand on the ball there. I think he was all right. But he was inspirational for the Highlanders.
He was.
He pretty much single-handedly inspired them to that victory, along with Ben Hurley at the back with that individual try from his own 22, the chip and chase. It was Bowden Barrett of old. He Bowden Barretted Bowden Barrett.
Yeah, the wheels on the man, the acceleration.
He reminded me, remember Ben Blair was that fullback for the Crusaders? He was a little dude, but he had wheels.
Pace.
It kind of reminded me of him a little bit.
So what do you think? Do you think that was just a freak occurrence? Or do you think that this is the Highlanders have got something? I mean, they lost last week.
This is what Jamie Joseph does, though, because he's back in charge after coaching them to a title a number of years ago. He turns good players into great players, and he somehow inspires them to. And they've got some, pretty handy forwards. They've got Hugh Renton, John O'Pryor. When he gets angry, in the weekends, John O'Pryor turns into Hugh Renton in the weekends and plays Super Rugby. And they're playing to their strengths, which are Tava Nawai. And the counter attack through obviously Finn Hurley, and they've got Sam Gilbert on the outside as well. He's solid as anything. They have the centre, the DWZ, PlayStation 1 DWZ in the centres as well. He's a monster, man. He is an absolute monster too. So I think they're just playing well as a team, and that's what Jamie Joseph does. Classic Blues. Rockstar forward pack, rockstar back line. Just can't put it together. Vern Cotter is going to be fucking spitting tacks this week. I would hate to be in his firing line. Yeah,
I think, though, it kind of helped us in the end, the Golden Oldie scrums. Because
it totally did.
It became a massive advantage because they couldn't rustle through us. They couldn't bustle us up.
No, and then at the end when they got a penalty and they were gobbling clock. Oh, man, the Highlanders gobbled clock. Some of the best clock gobbling I've ever seen.
Great phase. It was almost like taking the knee in American football.
It was close to that. They'd take 2 steps back and drop down. But Sam Gilbert was the best when he kicked that penalty. And he asked Nick Berry, he was right in front, like he was going to kick it over, right in front. And Nick Berry goes, when are you starting the shot clock? And Nick Berry goes, now. You got 30 seconds. And he goes, oh, okay. And he put the ball on the tee and stood there. And Nick Berry's like, you got 20. And he's like, okay.
That was bloody great.
And he goes, you got 10. Okay. And then kicked it over.
That's brilliant.
And they gobbled it at the end. And they had a penalty. They could have kicked it out and done a line out, wasted 20, 30 seconds. But they knew they were under so much heat in the line out that they called a Golden Oldie scrum. So they put the scrum down and they knew that was definite 30 seconds because the shot clock on the scrum is 30. So I was loving it. I mean, if you're a Blues fan, you would have been throwing shit at the screen. And I know that Matt Ward was livid being a Blues fan. He was livid, but not surprised. It
was one of those things, gutsy performance, but they're definitely going to lose from here. That's what I was thinking with 15 minutes out.
Same.
The gutsy, well done. This is great. A lot to hang your hat on. But Blues can't fuck it up from here.
No.
But that was great. But Super Rugby seems to be got its mojo. Mojo's back.
Because I didn't think that they could top round 1, but they did. The Force tipped up the Brumbies. Was it 45? Was it 45 points to 42 or something? Yeah, it was. That's outrageously high scoring. Reds obviously beat Moana 56-36, which was a shame. The Mana smashed the Crusaders 49-24. That seems closer than it was because Crusaders scored we've been
talking so much about the Highlanders game. That Chiefs Crusaders game was insane.
Yeah.
The Crusaders just got they got their asses absolutely wiped.
In the second half, they got absolutely wiped off the park.
Yeah.
Literally wiped off the park there at FML Stadium. And the Chiefs mana, I think we've got a couple of highlights actually, because myself and McConey commentated that, and I'll tell you what, there was mana all over the walls, all off the ceiling. I'm still wiping mana off my face today.
Cortez Ratima gives it up to Fee now. They're spinning it left now.
Here we go. Give it.
Here it goes, another try. End to end. And it's Quintu Pai again. Back to back within a minute. Quintu Pai goes bang bang. The Chiefs are ahead 46-17.
There was a lot of Chiefs mana yelling. You can tell in my voice. I'd yell Chiefs mana about 10 times. And James McConey is in the background going, He's Keith Quinning in the background. But yeah, that was a great game. The Chiefs, though, they're probably the pick of the team so far in terms of consistency anyway.
Yeah, they smashed up the Blues.
Yeah.
And now they've smashed up the Crusaders. So, those are the two big dogs, really, even though, the Crusaders weren't the big dogs last year, but they're always going to be seen as the big dog in Super Rugby. So for the Chiefs to start off like that, that's pretty good signs for your Chiefs mana.
And the Hurricanes only squeaked past the Drua by 4 points, 38-34 in Napes. So they're obviously not playing overly well either, the Hurricanes. I think they're definitely missing Adi Sevilla and having his leadership there. It's so funny with Moana Pacifica because I'm always betting with my heart with Moana, and I'm like, they'll tip up the Reds. And they got actually pumped, 36 over in Brizzy. But they're back playing at home soon, so that's going to be quite good.
Is there any passion for the Super Rugby over in Australia? I feel like it's come back a bit here.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell. It's so hard to tell in Australia because NRL and AFL take up so much of the oxygen.
Yeah.
That's hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looking at the crowds, pretty disappointing crowd in Dunedin, actually. One half of the stadium was empty. But even FML Stadium in Hamilton looked pretty empty. It was kind of not a great start in terms of attendances. Is there too much going on?
Maybe there is too much going on. Yeah, so why do I think that it's got its mojo back? Is it just got its mojo back we're watching at home?
I think in terms of quality of play.
Yeah.
In terms of quality and the amount of tries being scored.
Well, there was camera angles at Forsyth Bar that made it look fantastic.
Yes.
Like a really good time. And there were camera angles where there was just no one.
Yeah.
But I think did they just pack people into a certain area to get areas packed?
Yeah.
Because I think there was something in that. Because if you're surrounded by people, it's more fun than if you're, if you're like, not just in the zoo, but I think, you pick the stands that you're going to fill.
You don't want to be cucking by yourself in the top of the grandstand, do you?
No, some people do, but.
Well, yeah, some people. But tell you what, the zoo.
You should have a Gary seat up the back if someone's keen.
Is it a Gary or? I always thought it was a McCormick.
Yeah.
Anyway, the zoo. Let's touch on the zoo. Now, I love the zoo. I love the fact that they've got an area where you can just run wild. I love the fact that students turn up about 30 seconds before kickoff because they don't want to be buying the expensive piss in there. And you can tell that some of them have gone for some other substances outside of booze because there were some dudes chewing their faces off and gurning their faces off in the zoo. But I love it.
A lot of dancing.
I love it. And I've got a daughter, and I'm terrified if she ever goes to Dunedin, I'll be commentating a game, and I'll see my daughter in the zoo.
Well, the real losers on Saturday night down there were Auckland dads.
Yeah.
Not only were their team did their team lose, but they were just looking at their daughters,
just having the greatest
varsity
time.
Going, stay the fuck away from my daughter, you horrible slimy guy in a horrible fucking pair of drinking overalls. And you and your 50 mates and your matching drinking overalls, you stay the fuck away from my daughter.
And they all got horrific like mullets.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greats.
And it's bad enough, but what people don't understand about Dunedin is there's locals like me involved. They're just absolute scum.
Yeah.
That turn up to the parties.
And pretend like you're a university, but you're not.
But and that's all the trouble. The trouble is caused by horrible locals. Like myself and my friends. So it's all very well going down there, but you've got to deal with
You're right. I'm definitely telling my daughter something's up in Dunedin. You can't go to Otago University. No. I'm sorry. There's there's a no woman policy or something. I don't know. I've got a few years. I've got 10 years to come up with an excuse. Actually, it's less than that. It's only 8 years for me, but unfortunately, I've got time on my hands. Right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with a bit of Champions Trophy update for you. We're going to maybe cancel the Black Cap supporters support group bookings altogether. We'll find out tonight, but we're back in a moment. Rightio, Matt Heath, some Champions Trophy action in the weekend. South Africa beat Afghanistan, no surprises there. England could not defend 351 in losing to Australia, and Australia did it with 5 wickets in hand and a couple of overs.
I mean, that is insane scoring.
It is totally insane. The pitch was an absolute belter, but Australia had 15 balls to spare and 5 wickets.
Yeah.
It's ominous.
It is ominous, isn't it?
I'm just hoping they're blowing them.
I mean, but then again, you've got to defend 3. If your batsman put 350 on the board, you've got to defend that.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, Geoffrey Archer and Chris Wood did all right. Not Chris Wood. What's his name? Wood? Is it Mark Wood? I don't know. The quick one anyway.
Yeah.
Is it Mark Wood? They did pretty well at the start, and they got a couple of quickets, and they were bowling heat, but they just leaked so many runs.
Hey, did you say quickets?
Quickets.
That should be what you say. We need to get some quickets, which is quick wickets at the start.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Quickets.
We need quickets.
Yeah, we need quickets.
Quick wickets.
Yeah.
At which stage at any time of a cricket match do you not need quickets?
Yeah.
Everyone needs quickets. You always need quick wickets. Always need
what we need
wickets.
here.
Quickets.
There might be an occasion where, it's like an absolute green seamer, and you're like, it'd be quite good if these guys held on till things calm down.
Oh, yeah.
Just out of some dumb luck, they stay in, and then by the time you get in there, it's a bit. You get a couple of days of.
You want them to take the juice out of it. yeah, that's right. Yeah, could you just stay there for the day?
We need some slow wickets.
Yeah, slow-wickets. So Pakistan, unfortunately, look like they're going to get knocked out of their own tournament. They got beaten by India pretty comfortably in the UAE, which is a bit of a shame because having been over in France. And you were there when France got knocked out of the Rugby World Cup.
Absolutely sucks the life out of a tournament.
Yeah, it does, and I hope that doesn't do it to Pakistan. Good news for New Zealand, though. I think in terms of your second favourite team in Pakistan, I'm pretty sure it's New Zealand.
Right, even though at that time we got that weird email and gapped?
Nah, I still think they like us more than Australia.
They like us more than India.
Oh, 100 P.
And they've probably got some hate for Bangladesh in there somewhere.
And I like South Africa have got history, so I don't think they like them either. So I think there might be a small advantage there. For us there, but we are playing Bangladesh tonight. The Bangers are paying, I think, $450 for the victory, and I did an update this morning on Radio Highlanders, and Wells is still suffering from PTSD because he says that's good eating, and he's getting on the Bangladeshis.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, "What are you doing? This is the hurt, the broken."
Yeah,
Black Cap fan talking here.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, Cole Jamieson's back.
It's like me. It's like me. Like I never abandoned the Highlanders.
Yeah, I know.
You can't abandon your team.
Apart from when you said this last week, when you said who they're going to win, the Blues or the Highlanders for the rest of the country.
Blues. That could have been anyone that said that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. AI.
Yeah, have you AI'd me?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't sound like anything I would say.
It's a great excuse, isn't it? AI.
Because someone was telling me that that geo lock I asked for on Thursday didn't happen.
Yeah. There's no geo-lock. There's no geo. We can't geo-target this podcast. It goes everywhere and everywhere.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck. So tonight, Bangers, Black Caps. The Black Caps playing for a guaranteed spot in the semis. Ideally, we'd like to qualify top of the group. But, we've got India to play, which would be a challenge as well. But I love the tournament. It's quick fire. It's simple. Top 2 go through, semi-final, boom, shakalaka.
Love it.
I think the World Cup should be like that.
I love the way it works.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough countries in the world that play good enough cricket to have. You know how they say it's good for the development? It's like, Yeah.
Yeah, just them getting pumped is not that good for development. Have your own trophies.
Football maybe because it's a world sport, but cricket's not.
Yeah.
So I love the.
So you think they could run a losers World Cup?
I think they should definitely run a losers World Cup.
A losers World Cup.
Or a development World Cup.
Call it losers World Cup.
Yeah, same thing, isn't it? Development.
Yeah.
Losers.
Yeah, losers. Hey, speaking of losers, are you ready to move on to Auckland FC?
Oh my God.
So you know how Wellington's really rude about the rest of the country and they think they're better than everyone else and so when Auckland FC popped up, it was like an opportunity for Auckland just to go, look, we're so brash, so hot and summery here. We're out here. We've got billionaires supporting us. Look how well we're doing. This is fantastic. And you've been giving us the bird forever and thinking you're all special with your with your Phoenix team and you think you're amazing. You've got this thing. You've got some fat guys with their shirts off and stuff. And then we beat them and it was really fun. But then what's happened is that 6-1, we have absolutely humiliated them.
Yeah, that
is like, if you think about the Brash, the good start to the season, the Auckland FC, amazing. But then to win all 3 derbies and the last one 6-1, so there's not even any development from the Phoenix against Auckland FC.
Yeah, they're not happy, the Phoenix fans, and quite a lot of them came up to Auckland to support the team. There's a whole bay of them. I was like, good on you for coming up here, but then to face down 6-1
It's the battle of the lockdown. Do you remember when we were locked down in Auckland and everyone in Wellington was just running around giving us the finger and laughing at us?
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. You were.
I managed to escape.
You were texting me, having a great time.
Yeah, having beers.
And we were locked in. We weren't allowed to go anywhere for months and months, and the politicians didn't come up here.
No,
and
no one came
so
up.
everyone just said, "Oh, Auckland doesn't exist anymore." It was like Escape from New York. It's like they boarded us off and shut us down and just let us. We were killing each other. We were eating each other on the streets. Society completely broke down in Auckland, and Wellington was going. Well, this is what happens because when Auckland comes back out, when Auckland comes back out.
So you're saying this is for the lockdown?
This is for the lockdown.
This is lockdown revenge.
This one goes out to the lockdown.
So AFC are now 8 points clear at the top of the A-League table, man.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. They've just come along. And
it's such a good time at the game.
Yeah, it is a good
looks
time.
Wicked.
You got Mashy emceeing.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is a good time. And it's great to see Go Hard Stadium. It's had a real comeback, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. But I've said the wrong thing. I actually doubled down on what I was trying to say, the opposite thing. We want the Phoenix to continue to be big and that rivalry to exist. We don't want the Auckland FC just to wipe them completely off the planet because they kind of need each other. They're like Batman and the Joker.
They do.
They need each other, or else nothing happens in Gotham City. So
I was kind of hoping.
I hope that the Phoenix can still stay strong, even though. So this is a shot across their bows for lockdown. Okay.
You want them to come back though.
I just want them to be competitive because I think now it would be great for the whole tournament and the competition if the next time they play each other, the Phoenix win.
Yeah, I was thinking that for the rivalry. That's why that second game, I was hoping that the Phoenix would tip them up at home. Yeah. Remember, they won that away one in the home. Yeah. I was thinking that would be great. They would have set up for this last one so good. We don't want them to give up. Yeah, we don't want them just to be wiped off the planet like they tried to wipe us off the planet in lockdown. We don't want that. We want them to be strong. But still beat them. It's a good time to be a football fan. Shit, yeah. Especially if you're in Auckland. And when you're driving around, how many Auckland FC shirts do you see? Oh man, every school kid is wearing them. Every primary school, intermediate, high school kids on the weekend. There are more Auckland FC shirts around than Warriors shirts around at the moment. Yeah, and also the Steady the Ship hats, the Export Ultra Steady the Ship hats in the port area. Perfect assimilation. Obviously, we worked with Auckland FC. We said, you call it the port, we'll give you some hats. Yeah, I love seeing that. I love to see the hat continue on. Now it's even harder to explain why people are wearing those. It's a cricket hat with Kane Williams and Steady the Ship. Why are you wearing them at football? Don't tell me what to wear. Details. So Joseph Parker, he fought in the weekend as well. Yeah. And he was supposed to be fighting Dubois, Francois Dubois, and Dubois got sick. He went. Did he get sick or did he? I mean, so, you always in boxing. You always did he get sick? So he then got replaced by some journeyman, and he knocked the journeyman the F out. And so Joseph Parker, good win for him because it's a bit high risk for him if he'd lost that. Because some people were trying to tell me this guy isn't a journeyman. They were like, no, he's not a journeyman. He won his last 10 bouts. Yeah. So he's 20-1 or something. Yeah. So he's been around for a while, but he was on a hot streak. Yeah. But then Parker. But the highlight for everyone was when Winnie P. He was snapped ringside next to a Saudi Arabian advisor for the royal court under the rank of minister and current chairman of the General Entertainment Authority. I like that. That is a great title. Yeah. That's a great title when you're in charge of General Entertainment Authority. That General Entertainment Authority's got quite a budget, I imagine, to work with. Yeah. As chairman of the GEA, it's called, this guy, Al-Sheikh, is credited with leading significant developments in Saudi Arabia, including contributions to sports and cultural arenas, i.e. buying PGA golf. See, that budget's handy. Buying the FIFA World Cup. Yeah, because the Minister of Sport in New Zealand can't buy
the PGA. We don't have that kind of ready.
Yeah, and you know what? This is our hope, because last year, Minai Stewart and I, we talked about the Saudi suitcase and how, and that's what we need in Super Rugby and in cricket, is a Saudi suitcase that you win. So you win like $50 million.
Yeah.
So you win the Saudi suitcase, you lift the title, Super Rugby, and you get a suitcase, we call it the Saudi suitcase, and it's just full of an extraordinary amount of life-changing money, which is 50 million.
Yeah.
And then just turn the competition on its head with the Saudi suitcase. So, rumour has it Winnie P was sorting out the Saudi suitcase for New Zealand sport, ringside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we suddenly see like some pretty spectacular upgrades to the trots, or there's suddenly like one of those really spectacular stadiums at Trentham.
Well, yeah, suddenly Eden Park is now a horse racing.
Where they race above the stadium around the top of the stands.
Yeah, or through the stands and up
Where
and
do we get the
around.
money for that? Yeah.
The GEA.
We could just give, we've borrowed a lot of money lately in New Zealand. We're in heavy debt, right? Why don't we just, give our country to the Saudis?
Well, look, this is the other thing, and we talked about, there's a lot of sport washing going on.
Yeah.
Where's the podcast?
Because we're great at sport. They're shit at sport.
I know.
Like, we are incredible at sport.
You can wash the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Like, stick us in the cash washing machine on full cycle.
So you can run these tournaments, but you can also have people that can compete in them under your name. So you just make it the Democratic Saudi Arabian Republic of New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, it would be so.
You buy us,
Yeah.
and then we're just a sports farming machine.
Yep.
So you don't humiliate yourself at these tournaments that you own.
Yeah.
Like Joseph Parker's fighting for you.
Yeah.
And so
And the All Blacks are yours.
yeah.
So are the
You've
Black
got
Caps.
Lydia Co's yours.
Yeah.
To compete in.
Auckland FC. You can have them too.
They're all yours.
Highlanders even.
Yeah. That's right.
Take 'em.
The All Blacks.
Wash them up. Wash them with cash.
You run a Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
The Saudi Arabian All Blacks play.
Yeah. The Black Ferns might be an issue for them. They're world champions.
Well, women's sport might be an issue going forward.
Could be.
But,
We can work through that.
you can't make an omelette without cracking some eggs. Let's look. I'm not saying we should do it. I should say, well, let's put it to referendum.
It should. It should be on the table.
Yes.
It should on the table.
Yeah.
No idea is a bad idea.
You say no, and then the Saudi Arabians write a little number on a bit of paper,
And then you go, okay.
slide it over the table to you.
Yeah, and you go, okay, I'll take this away. Have a think about it.
The Democratic Republic of Saudi Arabia and New Zealand. Okay,
It's got a ring to it.
Yeah,
it's got a ring to it. Okay, we've solved it. We know what Winnie P was up to, but he had a good seat. He was right ringside. So well done, Winnie P. I hope you've sorted out a few things there. Just before we go to yours, please. Last man stands. It's a cricket league throughout New Zealand. Just wrapping up, I think. It's got a few more weeks left. One of the great social leagues, Last Man Stands. And thanks to Snackachangi Chips and also Export Ultra, we've got prize packs to give away to your team in Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch. Just text LMS to 3236 to register your Last Man Stands team, and we'll rock up with a bunch of goodies. Potentially even to use for your end of year function for LMS, because it wraps up pretty quick. So get onto that LMS to 3236, register your team, and you're in. But we'll be back in just a moment with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
And don't forget, you can still win $5,000 cash. Top up your summer. Grab a tray of toppers from your supermarket and scan the QR code and you're in. But here we go. First, yours, please, for a Monday.
I volunteer as tribute to be tasered and see if I get an erection. Because someone's got to be an idiot and do it now, don't we? Now you've mentioned it, you've put that out into the universe. I need to know. So if you boys can work out someone with a taser who's willing to do this for science, I will take one in the ass for the boys. Let's do this. Let's be scientific. We can even get some Dr. Steve Simpson from the Auckland University to come down and fucking monitor it. Let's go. Let's do it.
First of all, he doesn't need to take the taser in the ass, but if that, because that might we need a control.
We're not science thinking people, so we thought that the taser in the ass is most likely to cause the erection because it's closest. So I don't know. We might need a scientist in here to work out the logistics of it. But that's great that someone's willing to stand up and
that's a great New Zealander there.
Like Katniss, Eva Green. Katniss for his sister.
Yeah,
he stood up and he's willing to. He's a tribute. He's willing to get bloody tasered in the ass.
Yeah, well done. Full credit to that guy.
Would we do it here?
Do it in here. I think we'd film it, live stream it.
So we need to get a taser.
Yeah, we're...
Do we do it? You know, like that.
Can you get them off Temu?
You know, when they look at the stats of people getting shot by police in America, heaps of them are suicide by cop, where you like people go, why are they running at a cop? You go, that's crazy, they'll shoot you. And then a lot of people, that's the way they
go out.
They kill themselves.
Yeah,
it's like jumping in front of a chain. You act like a dick in front of a cop, and they shoot you. And you go, that's what I want. So do we need to get this guy to commit a crime so we can say so?
Oh yeah, true actually. But he has to be nude, and we have to in a controlled environment.
It's science by cop.
Oh, I know what we should do. Often we get politicians and often the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Oh, they're carrying guns though, don't they? Oh, the cops carry tasers, but the Diplomatic Protection Squad, they must taser first.
Well, once I was really drunk around Helen Clark when she was Prime Minister, and I tipped a whole glass of Pinot on her shoes.
Oh, yeah. She wouldn't have liked that.
She hated it. She was furious. She was like wearing these little stockings. Anyway, it wasn't my fault. I was drunk, but I didn't get tasered or shot by her people, and I was really disappointed. I was like, I shouldn't have been allowed to get close enough to tip a whole glass of wine on her. Someone should have tasered me.
Well, surely we can make it less complex. Surely you can get on Temu or AliExpress and grab a taser.
Well, where are all the fucking gangs getting their guns from?
Exactly. Temu. Can we like 3D print one or something?
Yeah.
Can we do something like that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
We've got your details.
We'll get the taser.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out and we'll find out.
Okay, next one. Yours, please.
Leroy's just scored a fucking try. Chiefs modern but up the Canes. I fucking love the Canes. Seem to be the only Canes supporter in New Zealand. But Chiefs modern if they're beating the fucking Crusaders, oh fuck. Am I half a bottle of bourbon deep? Maybe. I love the fucking Canes, but Chiefs fucking money. Oh, the Chiefs are in. Oh, he steps him. Oh, he's fucking scored another try. Oh, up the Canes though. I love the Canes, but Chiefs money. I've got so.
There's some big cocaine energy in that talk back.
Yeah, so where is he watching that? In the bathroom?
I don't know.
Because I can't hear the stuff in the background. So he's got headphones on.
Good acoustics, though.
Yeah, great audio.
Great audio. No interference.
And great passion.
Great passion, but I must admit, a little bit bipolar.
Yeah.
Chiefs mana, Hurricanes. Chiefs mana, Hurricanes. Chiefs mana. A bit like someone else I know.
Is he the only Hurricanes fan in New Zealand?
I know I'm probably the only one listening to this. We've had a couple of abusive ones saying stop giving the Hurricanes so much shit.
Yeah,
and,
right.
You know.
Because they do have some. There's people like John Campbell that pretend to be just to try and act like he's a human being.
Yeah.
But are there actually any? There's none within the ACC.
Who was the Hurricane? Oh, no, Paul Stewart Ford.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a Hurricanes.
Is he?
Yeah, well, he's a Wellingtonian.
He's a Wellingtonian.
But really, he was born in Rhodes and grew up in the Tron.
He's got a strong Hamilton vibe.
So he might have a bit of mana in him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to confirm with him on that.
My partner's from Taupo, and I didn't realise that how Chiefs mana hard Taupo is.
Oh yeah,
they are hard Chiefs mana. Their whole family are like Chiefs mana.
Mana out the walls.
Yeah, mana everywhere in there. Yeah. in Taupo.
Okay, next one, yours please.
Hey G Lane, in your intro there, mate, can you just tell me the day as well as the date, so I know I'm listening to the right potty?
Okay, sorry.
I know if it's a Thursday, not sure if it's the 20th. Okay. That is all. Thanks.
That's a great bit of feedback. You know what?
Shit, that's good feedback.
Such good feedback. And that's the kind of feedback that I need from someone in management.
It's fucking constructive.
It is.
You are management.
I know. I know.
That's the problem.
This is the problem.
That's the problem with the ACC is you're the boss, and also you do the air checks, and you generally can't listen to play back any audio because you've generally committed a crime, and you might have to fire yourself.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's such a tough role because often when you guys can't say that, and he goes, whatever.
Yeah.
You just talked about hand jobs and fucking cucking the whole time. I was like, don't listen to me though. That's not me.
You're having to call yourself into your own office for a stern word most Mondays.
But that's good feedback, and I'll take that on board. Today is
That is a fucking
Monday.
good point.
It is.
No one gives a shit what date it is.
Nah.
They want to know what day it is.
Yeah.
No one's got the kind. No, we're not. You know, we're not fucking organised enough to know what date it is.
That's what this talkback function is for on your iHeartradio app, the little microphone. Just some good, honest, constructive feedback.
That's what radio used to be about.
Yeah.
Telling you what the time is.
Yeah.
And what day it was.
Yeah, and some traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next one, yours, please.
Hey, fellas, just listening to the start of the week's potty about the rugby enforcers. I think it's a great idea. I do want to know, though, where we are going to find the madman that is going to want to come onto the field and scrap Summer Penny Finau after he's just decked your 10 would be the only issue, is trying to find bigger guys than that's already out there. Love yous, fuck yous.
Yeah, this is a discussion we had around bringing ice hockey tactics into the rugby field.
Yeah.
To avoid people getting skewered. Like if you skewer their first 5, which often happens with Summer Penifina, the human skewer, he'll skewer the first 5, and then like how do we discourage that? And that is you bring on someone bigger than Summer Penifina to then scrap Summer Penifina.
Yeah.
But then I think it's a slippery slope in bringing on people who just scrap.
Yeah.
And in ice hockey they do it. I mean, they get away with it there, but we said there that potentially you've got a lot of protection. You usually got a helmet on and there's a lot of gear, so it's not a straight bare knuckle fight like rugby would be.
Did you see that Canada, the USA?
Yes, so good.
So good. And then within the first 9 seconds.
3 fights.
And then they shoved it right up the Canadians' ass after booing the national anthem.
Yeah.
What do you think about someone's politics? You can't boo a team's national anthem and not expect to have your ass handed to you afterwards.
I know, it was great. It's sport. I love it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then the Canadians came back and won the second one in the US.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, sport.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, we've got one more. Yours, please.
Morning, boys, from a bone-chilling Sunday morning in Dunners. Just wanted to say I'm really disappointed in Matt's lack of support for his supposedly beloved Highlanders. For those south of the Waitaki River, there was never a doubt in anyone's mind that the Highlanders would pump the All Blacks stacked Blues team like they did. Maybe in your next cooking video with Bodie, you can award him the Matt Heath Cup. He pretty much single-handedly won that game for us. Anyway, bless. Fuck South Canterbury.
Good to see South Canterbury back
look,
as well.
If you could only see me now in 9 layers of Highlanders merch.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you definitely didn't say you didn't say this, did you? For the rest of the country.
Blues.
You didn't say that, eh?
Well,
is that AI?
You promised me that would be geo-locked. But anyway, the thing is, it's not about, you can support your team but still think they might lose.
Mm.
And it's just as important. What's more important is that you celebrate their victories as your own.
Yeah.
And try and bask in their glory, reflected glory, and try and construct a personality about a team that you were running down last week.
But that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
As a sports fan, it's your prerogative how you flip-flop.
Yeah.
And you've flopped on the side of the Highlanders.
But I think most of the country, because the Highlanders are everyone's second favourite team.
Yeah.
But I think that performance, there's,
Oh,
it was just a thing of fucking beauty.
It was grit. It was gritty. 14 men. I think the fact that Daniel Leonard-Brown got sent off actually galvanised the team even more. So let's suck the life out of. And I don't know who it was. I think it was John O'Pryor at the end of that game. He goes, "Let's fucking close this out, boys. Let's fucking close this out."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And the rest of them like, fuck yeah. You got Tavitava Nawa playing loose forward. You got fucking turnovers. Yeah.
Joey Wheeler was jizzing everywhere.
Oh, he was. There was juice, Highlander juice all up the walls. But he was wearing quite an outrageous ensemble on field. And he tagged whoever it was that supplies him his kit with kind of some kind of floral shirt with and then a sports jacket that looked a bit too small for him. And then he interviewed Finn Hurley at the end, and gave, like, the biggest Gulliver of all time. And I was like, dude, you've got to work out who you were interviewing, because the Gulliver level is going through the roof.
And then he's over by Patrick Tuipulotu, and it's quite even.
Yeah.
And then you realise, geez, how small is Ben Hurley? to run that fast with those little legs.
Yeah. And to, be doing a stand-up gig the night before and then turn out for the Highlanders. Jeez.
Stand-up gig, like drop about 50 kegs and then shave off your beard.
Yeah.
And then put in a performance like that.
He's an all-rounder. He is an all-rounder, Ben Hurley. Okay, that'll wrap up Monday's Agenda podcast. Thanks for joining us, Matt. I'll be seeing you next week post-Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be a shadow of a man.
Yeah. So when do you leave?
Wednesday night.
Wow. Who's going?
Me, Joe Jury, and 220 of our closest friends.
Wow.
With boys trip.
Oh, shit.
Wish me luck.
Oh, my God. Fuck.
Yeah.
I did this.
Thanks for the support.
I did
just looked into my soul. And
I did this speaking engagement in Hamilton yesterday with a great guy called Jamie Pinnell from the NZSAS.
Yeah.
Great man. But he was saying every time he flew overseas, he'd look out the window and go, there's a good chance I won't ever see my country again, because, he's going into war zones, and, he was taking on fire. When you fly out, just think, this could be the last time. Hug your wife I'll look after her. Don't worry.
Let's not go there.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Let's not go there.
So you don't have to worry about that. That's one thing you don't have to worry
great,
about. If you don't come back,
great.
Anna's fine.
Okay.
But your kids, well, fine, boarding school. Someone will take them. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is hug them. Because if you're going to Vegas with 220 boys strip wounders and Joseph Jury, who's so far from a handbrake.
Yes, he is.
He's
the man cutting the wire on the brake. Anyway, have a good week on the ZBs. I hope you don't upset too many people. Get the phones going.
Yep.
Okay, mate.
All right.
See you later. Okay.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.